with him doing that, and I'm just gonna be like, apparently this is good.
It is good.
Hey, urgent assistance! Then let's make some noise!
I mean, the one line from 2003.
Yes.
Scooter, are you ready?
Yes. Are you ready?
Oh God. Hello everybody, welcome to WhatCulture Gaming. I'm Scott, joined by Josh.
Hello.
Now, there's not that much news going on today, right this minute.
Right this minute there is not.
Because it is E3 season and we have a whole bunch of articles coming up. We've got some videos on the channel that you can check out. Me and Josh went a little bit virally last night.
We had a nice little bit of banter on
the gaming trending list, you know, amongst all the other Fortnites and the fight in the Minecraft and all that. And but in spite of there not being that much news, we're also playing through Blood and Truth.
Yes, we are.
Which is the latest big VR game that I kind of fear is almost going under the radar because of how much E3 season's kicked in.
Well, it's a shame. I mean, you say that. It is the best-selling game in the UK at the moment, at least it was for last week. But yes, it's been kind of buried by E3, which is a shame because it's so good.
So
Scott.
Josh is our only person who's given in to the PSVR behemoth.
Willingly.
Willingly. I tried it back when the thing came out. Anyway, point being that we got a code for Blood and Truth, and apparently it's phenomenal. So as someone who hasn't played it, and I don't really know anything about it, other than Colin Salmon's in it.
Colin Salmon is in it.
The man who's in every single UK TV show ever. And I'm just going to interrogate Josh as to what the crack with it is, because it's reviewing extremely well.
I feel like all I need to tell you is that there is a section in this game where you infiltrate a casino and you set bombs all over the place and you need to cause a distraction.
Right.
What do you stumble across? A load of DJ decks. The lights come on, you smack the buttons, the song starts blaring. It's a really good song. It's like an EDM song. You can, obviously you're in control of both hands because you've got both move controllers. You can spin the decks, you can turn the volume up, you can turn the tempo up, you can smash it, but then also there's a bunch of goons who come through the door, so you've got one hand on the decks, you've got one hand on an SMG, you're doing a bit of DJ and you're shooting over the top to this great tune.
Why?
Fine now.
Well, no, well, one, why? Two, why is that not everywhere? Why is that GIF not everywhere? Because you showed me the gameplay of this, and I was like, I didn't know this is what Blood and Truth was. I know that it's not, for the majority, I think it's this gritty, kind of half the getaway type sequel type thing.
It's kind of not though. It sort of has that focus. Obviously there is a story and it's about you are part of this family in London, this kind of crime family, I guess.
Right.
You're a soldier back from the war because your dad's died, and then sort of a rival business tries to encroach on your turf and you get into a bit of a war with them. And it sounds like it's going to be this sort of older Guy Ritchie sort of gritty drama, but it's really not. It's got these missions where you're sort of invading the main bad guy sort of art installation,
right?
And I literally drew a dick in real time on a painting of him. In the game knows you're going to do it as well, because the guy next to you, the guy you're with, he comments, he's like, I know what you're probably going to draw. And you're like, damn right, I'm going to take this opportunity to draw a big penis.
They don't know what it is after you've done it, though.
They don't know.
I would love it if they coded sort of penile recognition software to just be because you do one loop and you go the next one. Oh, that's what it is.
That's what it is.
And then we know what you're going to do
for it. But the way the game kind of reacts to what you're doing is interesting. It's very subtle. Just little things. So between missions, you have a kind of home base where you can talk to your family because your entire family's in on this, and you can sort of equip your weapons and modify them and look around at the things you've collected.
I saw that.
Yeah,
where you blow it all out and stuff.
Yeah. But you can, when you're even just talking to someone, when you look at them, they'll look back at you, which sounds weird and sounds kind of simple, but it really genuinely invests you in the story. The difference between playing a game on a screen and playing it in VR is you can look into a character's eyes while they're talking to you, which is weirdly intimate and weirdly engrossing.
Does that not make you want to do a thing where you, because a lot of people hopefully have seen the video, what do you call the one with the L.A. Noire, where the guy's just messing around in L.A. Noire VR?
Oh yeah.
And he's just trying to mess with every single character in interrogation. If you haven't seen that, just look up L.A. Noire VR skit or whatever, you'll find it. Does that not make you want to just mess around with the tracking of it to see how much they can actually follow you?
Yes.
Because my gamer brain would make me mess all those situations up.
I'm not going to lie. I'm quite, in video games where you're sort of in a cutscene that you kind of want to skip, but you're interested in what's going on, but you just can't stop your fingers, so you're jumping around all the time, spinning around. At least I do that.
Right.
So in this game, because I got full control, there are parts, it's all told, I'm very rambly.
Sorry.
The whole game is kind of told in this wraparound where you're being interrogated by Colin Salmon, and he's asking you what you did.
Right. So what is Colin Salmon's name, in the game?
I can't actually remember.
We just keep calling him Colin Salmon because he's the best English actor that we've got.
But he's sort of an agent who's trying to put the pieces together of what you've done.
Cool.
So there are these sort of interim moments where you're sort of sat in a chair and he's talking to you, but he'll give you stuff. He'll give you sort of photographs and things. And so I'm like picking them up. And you kind of like role play.
Can you throw them out?
So I'm like throwing them around the room and sort of like picking them up. There was a bit where I was talking to some guy and I had this like clipboard and I was throwing it up and catching it at the same time.
So he's telling you about like murders in the family street.
He's like, oh my God, your mum's being held hostage. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm juggling this clipboard up and down and it's delicious.
So speaking of random banter, you told me this morning that when you hold guns, you can spin them like Revolver Ocelot, which is all I need to invest in VR, to be honest.
Let me tell you.
This game seems like banter the game.
It is banter the game. This is maybe one of my favorite moments.
Truth.
Except that's what it should be called.
Why not?
Apart from the DJ moment, there is a part where you can get like obviously 2 revolvers later on, and if you hold down triangle, I think it is, and move your move controllers, you spin them around your fingers, and you can stop them and start shooting. Like
have you been doing that in gameplay?
All the time. I mean, I can't shoot anyone afterwards because the aiming is like the mechanics are actually quite. They're like tactile and they take some skill to use. You can't just like wave your gun around and start shooting people. You need to properly aim. Like the closer you bring it up to your face, the bigger the reticule is.
Right.
So when you're spinning them around and shooting wildly, you might hit absolutely nothing, like in Pulp Fiction where he comes out with the revolver. So there is the risk of that. But man, when you pull it off, it feels so cool. It's not just all banter. The mechanics and the way it feels is incredibly satisfying.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, I was going to say, well, in that bit with the DJ, like he's got the one hand on the decks doing his thing, and he's sort of just like spraying, but it seems to kind of track where the guy's coming from.
Kind of, yeah.
Is that like similar to other VR, like any sort of other VR shooters? How much does it play the game for you, and how much do you have to make a note of like, I know exactly where my bullet's going to go? Get like a feel for it.
It plays the game surprisingly little for you, especially in the shooting. You need to be accurate. When I was first getting used to it, when I was trying to aim, I was all over the place, and I wasn't hitting anyone, and I was kind of like, this isn't fun.
I'm not calling Sam.
You're not calling Sam, but it makes there be a kind of genuine like sort of skill progression or like skill ceiling where you are learning how to use the weapons and how to aim properly and how to pull off these mad tricks and not rely on holding your gun up to your face all the time. And it's kind of like just so tactile because you have 2 holsters on your like sides for pistols, you have a big weapon on your back, and you have ammo packs on your chest, so every time you need to reload, if you're out, you need to take one hand to your chest and smack the thing in like that. And that never gets old. So you might have 2 different out of thing pistols, guys coming towards you, and you're grabbing this and you're grabbing that, and you're like, and then you just start going again.
And then you just twist a little bit and you shoot them in the face.
It's like being a kid and you're playing
this is one of the things that like fascinates me with VR, because my thing with VR, the reason I haven't invested in it yet, one is because the cables are everywhere and I don't want to be, fighting with a pile of noodles when I want to play a game. But also, I kind of compare it to when analog sticks came into the industry.
Right.
Because analog sticks fundamentally changed the way that we interacted with games. You couldn't control cameras as well until then. And so with VR, like hardly ever, like on that initial spate of VR games, like whether it's on Oculus or PSVR, I never came across anything where I was like, fundamentally, I can only do this in VR. And so the only game that stood out to me for that was the Until Dawn Rush of Blood, because you can aim in 2 places at once and you were like taking on 2 sets of enemies at once. And there was a really, really, really overlooked game on the PS2 called Twin Caliber that did that. Where you aim with 2 different analog sticks and stuff. But that's the whole thing. I was like, okay, fundamentally, like in the Until Dawn, I'm looking back and forward. I'm sort of like managing both sides, and I'm aiming like my Jesus Christ pose or whatever. It felt really cool.
Yeah.
Felt like I was like some John Woo movie kind of thing. But with Blood and Truth, there's like all those little things. Do they just make it feel like you literally couldn't do this on a controller?
Yeah, you couldn't. It wouldn't feel the same. It's like the feature I always come back to, especially in VR games, is the idea of blind firing.
Right.
So you can literally huddle yourself down under cover, like just by moving your head, or you can like kind of pop up in a more subtle way. But it's blind firing over the top of something. When you've got your arm over it and you're kind of like just hoping to hit someone, it adds an extra element of tension that just isn't there when you do that in sort of Gears of War, where you're not a threat and you just hold it. You can still see your reticle. You still kind of know where you're aiming. That's completely eliminated in like this game, and it makes it way more intense.
Do you have like radial audio as well? Can you kind of tell vaguely where someone is?
Yeah.
So again, you have more to the blind fire than in a standard other shooter.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you can kind of hear where you're supposed to be shooting at. Plus, assumedly, they would go "Blah!" when you finally kill them, so you know that you've got the hit.
And there's blood all over the place. It's delicious. It's like it's a weird game because obviously VR still has a long way to go. It is kind of on rails. You look to places where you want to move.
I was going to ask how's the movement.
Yeah, which is kind of other games do movement better. Right. This is like a nice little medium between it being on rails and you having some control, because you can strafe left and right, you can look and you can go back and you can move that way to like cover to cover. But it's surprisingly complex. It's not just all on rails. You're not just like playing Time Crisis or something.
Right.
There are moments where you have to, there's one great moment in the casino where you have to plant a load of bombs, and you can do that either stealthily, you can try to take out guys with silenced headshots while you're planting them, or you might be alerted to it and you have to do it in like the thick of battle. So there is real complexity there, but it is let down, I think, by the fact that the Move controllers don't have analog sticks. And that's just design oversight. I'm sure they'll fix that next time when they design actual controllers for VR, not just retrofit older tech to make it
a little
work.
bit. Yeah, I think that's one of the things that, like, in terms of them literally going, like, well, we've got like a surplus of PS Move controllers, we can kind of make this work. For me, I'm still looking forward to, assumedly, a PSVR 2 to like bring all those little features in together. And then, but something like this seems like the strongest step forward they've taken so far.
It is, between this and I think Firewall 0 Hour, which might still be my favorite PSVR game. It's just like,
Which is pretty much like Rainbow Six Siege in VR.
And I think, you know, you were talking about getting a VR.
That was a gun, by the way.
Was it?
Good in that. One of them.
You can actually get one of those guns with an analog stick on it. It's really
I want to shoot it
good.
sideways.
You were talking about getting a potentially, was it the Oculus you were thinking of?
Oculus Quest, yeah, the one that doesn't have any wires.
What I like about Sony's VR output at the minute is that they're actually putting a lot of money into it. This is like a really high budget, high fidelity game that I don't think you might get necessarily on there, because you don't have you don't have a specific company kind of like investing in the long haul in the same way Sony is. Obviously, there's still great experiences to get and great third party ones, and it's not like Sony has knocked it out of the park on every single game they've released. But something like London Heist, you couldn't play that anywhere else. It's it's true. It's great, even though the PSVR isn't the most powerful VR console out there. It has these experiences that have a lot of passion and a lot of hard work put into them, and it's about 5-6 hours long, which, you know, isn't like the length of a major game, but it doesn't really outstay its welcome.
I was gonna say, they can be way more focused. Yeah. They can give you these like specific little mini games or like DJ sections or whatever that just like, you know, they can nail that pacing the whole way through. One of the last thing I was gonna say was how much, because do you play the original Getaway games?
I didn't, you know.
Oh my God, Josh Brown.
I know.
Go play Getaway 1 and 2.
I've gone back and like, I've actually watched walkthroughs of it for some reason. I don't know, because I just wanted to know what the crap was about. And this, from what I can gather, isn't the Getaway 3.
Right, okay, that's what I was going to say, because apparently this started as the Getaway 3 years ago, and kind of like, you know, vaguely got chopped and changed and whatever. The London Heist was kind of like some of the remnants of what was originally Getaway 3, and then the rest of it kind of became this. I was going to say, does it scratch the Getaway itch in terms of like, you know, Cockney gangsters, apples and pears and all that kind of stuff?
It's got lots of apples and pears, lots of Cockney gangsters. It's kind of like a Guy Ritchie movie made by, it's weird because obviously it's made by London Studios. It feels like it's made by a kind of bunch of Americans. It's at least targeted to an American audience, because it feels sort of so over the top and so Cockney rhyme and slang and so rooted in that kind of caricature of London that it is fun and it's a lot of banter, but it's not kind of like a gritty BBC drama or anything like that. There is so much variety to it, though. I will tell you this: it's not all shooting. There's a lot of climbing in it, which feels weirdly intense.
Right.
Like when you're crawling through air vents, I was really claustrophobic. I was doing that. I was getting through, and there's a great horror segment. I actually woke up my girlfriend the other night because I was screaming in the other room. Like it's a bit with mannequins. It's all in the dark.
Oh, cool.
And I had to change my underpants afterwards because I was scared.
What? So one of them was a person?
I'm not going to say.
You're not going to say. The mannequins are low key becoming the most terrifying thing in gaming. If you play Outlast as well, they're in there. Anyway, these are our sort of thoughts on Blood and Truth for now. Josh is going to continue playing it. We'll have more thoughts towards the end of the year. I've no doubt it'll be in our Game of the Year rankings or something close to that.
Damn right it will be.
Depending on how things go. But let us know what you think down in the comments below of PSVR in general and VR games and whether you're going to invest in them. For now, though, I've been Scott from WhatCulture.com.
I've been Josh from WhatCulture.com.
And we'll catch you next time.
Bye. DJ Dex, though, yeah?
Piccadilly, mate.
Apples and pears. Apples and pears.
Piccadilly!
Come and